And then there were two. The sprint season action, there might just be two drivers left in the championship. Max Verstappen still have a say in this 2025 season. And the tyres mandated to a maximum lap. What we're focusing on for qualifying tonight. Down to Grand Prix, we've staged at this venue.
Right, the sprint is out of the way now. It's the two big scores. Something to knock but can Red Bull find some before? It's quite a bit cooler out there now, of course. A lot to play for here, and having an extra qualifying and an extra shorter.
That's gone 6 races without a podium finish, leading every.
Was it the Sauber?
No, the Williams.
Behind the car in front and too close to them, and
on that outlap as well as they can. Otherwise, they're at the back of the queue. Ferrari.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, here we go. Second, we did have their front left tyre. I'm just about seeing the Ferraris. That's the today. It seems a long time ago now. He said that's all. See what happens for that. But Crofty, you're absolutely right for me. But Oscar has got other ideas.
In what would be his one equal David Coulthard with the 12 Grand Prix.
Very much in the thick of the action. I can see quick update on run plans. So I think if you're a team I think for teams slightly further up the grid.
Thanks, Bernie. Good to have you with us tonight. Max was preparing his tyres and raring to go.
Used soft tyres. They want to try to get on the throttle early. A little tight will take a penalty for impeding. And 14 and 50. And they're the ones that are the serrated curves. Everything is punishing. Kimi Antonelli must fancy a bit of a chance of passing
in the championship in any of his previous 18 seasons that he's accustomed to this evening. Bortoletto and picked up a 5-second penalty as a result.
Just to see the command they have on the steering wheel. Ground effect regulation started in 2022.
We've got our onboard channel with the team radio as well. Go to the currently Sky Q, Sky Stream, Sky Glass customers.
Antonelli had his time deleted yet again for that. A bit of understeer there, actually. Front of the car just slid into the final turn. A reasonable Fernando Alonso.
Bernie Collins says yes, absolutely. Lando Norris will cross the line, goes 5th. It's to find a little bit of pace. This track will ramifying, and he goes to the top of the standings. And we've got
to assume that Norris had some kind of adventure.
Franco Colapinto into the gravel, the Alpine.
It just goes through the car.
Albon, that's why he had his lap time deleted. Going time on the board. Here he comes to the line now. And next to cross the line, he's tied with Nico Hulkenberg at 11 after this session, and talking after the
So Norris is pitted then. He'll put a
cons the next one to have a lap time deleted. This weekend have been exceeding track limits after that time went missing. Right, Lance he was 4th on the grid for the sprints earlier to 10th of a second out of that Aston Martin.
On those new tyres. And it inside, minimise the angle of this corner all the time, otherwise there's no point being out. You get it slightly wrong by a metre, there's nothing.
For Charles Leclerc, that's about bang on the news from us from the pit wall.
Yes, Cotton, 15 kph slow in his pit stop. They've been trying to do a pit stop to get behind, but they've not been able to get Hulkenberg.
Albon, the man who was responsible for all those Red Bull speed, trying to sort out whatever the issue is, with Nico out for in a racing bull that looks very adept overall by just over a 10th of a second from Oscar.
But whilst Ferrari looked a little bit better with that, with a lot of work to do, Hamilton's out there now.
Time list, and it's worth mentioning as this much thoughts and love to the Hill team that used the sprint to have a bit of a quality 6th fastest, 3/10 off the pace.
There's been a Formula 2 race. It's just changed the grip level with the different tyres.
We just saw, and that's Kim around. The wind's dropped down a little bit.
Skid blocks sort of protecting the front wing end down underneath, but Antonelli it was more
car on the grid that actually hasn't scored a point to Pinto. Let's focus on Red Bull, shall we? Max here in 2023 hasn't taken pole since by 7/100ths of a second from Isaac Hadjar. Best started 5th on the grid, and Max, when he goes 10th fastest, he's half a second.
Well, as is Piastri. Now we are going to
just under 6 minutes to go. We're on board with Lando Norris. Had a few stabs. 10th clear of Max Verstappen. What have they got?
And finally, then we're hearing what Max is. Piastri then just shy by slow now.
Bortoletto goes 13th. Here's Esteban Ocon next to the line. Can't bear, but his teammate is finding just in the head-to-head in the sprints and the
drive, unless there are any penalties later on. Or so, whilst it's not pole, side of the McLaren garage to finally be slightly.
With jumping engines he had that issue.
Now both Ferraris not being able with the left. Now the Racing Bulls as well in there somewhere, Crofty.
Yeah.
I think we might even get
last year, by the way, pole time was a 1:20.5 in the Q1. Round the final, stays in that bottom 5. Comes to the crunching qualifying, but he's got one more chance. Fernando Alonso's on a personal best. 20.3, I think, is definitely safe. Other than that,
Throttle from 12 through to 16.
So a 1:20.5 for Charles Leclerc, shall we, and see how that...
Slowing down. Cars coming out excited in both those cars.
So if you are in the 1:20 point to find a little bit more pace, and we've got to focus on both Monza 2021, a bit it was only due to put things right for the...
It's sparking away, it's grinding away and keeps it within track limits. Drives, they've lowered the Ferrari and given it a bit more downforce.
Yeah, on the bubble here, and I fear this could be, let's see what happens behind him. Carlos Sainz's car on the outside of the track. He's aced the first sector, personal...
Down in the middle part of this lap, that's where...
For Isaac Hadjar, who's in 8th, 5th fastest overall. Hamilton now, I'm afraid. Alex Albon, it's a second Q1 exit in a row, goes 5th fastest, decent lap from him, so stays in that bottom 5. What can Colin of Esteban Ocon, who can still complete an impressive lap from Pierre Gasly. Antonelli, he crosses the line and can't come. Gabriel Bortoleto makes part of qualifying, and George Russell can end.
Confidence around here, the Mercedes looks well plugged, and he goes over the line and is right in there with McLaren and Max Verstappen 18.
Where do you start? Night for him, just couldn't hook the Tsunoda. He's out in Q1 for the 3rd consecutive Grand Prix. What a session that was then. But Franco Colapinto, slowest, and Tsunoda all putting their feet up early. Charles Leclerc, that lap time for Russell is Charles Leclerc crosses the line. He is improving in the middle sector. Hold him. Can Gabriel Bortoleto get into the top 10 if he's P15? No, he goes P14. So Ferrari make it through with Charles, but the top 3 in the championship.
Dialed into this racetrack, to this layout.
So the top 10 will go battle for top 10. Gabriel Bortoleto, Ollie, welcome back.
Yeah, very well done.
I'm very happy with the lap.
Top 10, remember this is the only track he's ever started. Your driver, James Vowles?
No, because the track temp...
A little bit of track cooling, but I don't think it's that fun to find that time is probably a clue.
James, leaving the garages with 3 minutes to go.
Position your own outlap. It's your own outlap especially, so that's a lot of the reason why the cars are waiting there.
You switch yours off.
No, switch off. The car generation of car, you can turn them on and off now.
Turning it on, Karun Chandok.
At Alex Albon and try and demonstrate just where Steve can't get the grip to get the speed. He dumped a whole load of lap time. Nose in, again a correction so well that it wasn't going any quicker. I want to show you Lando Norris is coming. He's coming there. This dragged him into Q3 and he had to go again after a track limit on the entry, as Martin was saying before, and is on the blue. So that's why he had to go again.
40 seconds to go to the start of Q3. So time.
The drivers in this session that have 2 sets. Hadjar, I believe, has 2 new sets available. And Martin pointed out in the last session.
Hadjar started 8th on the grid 4 times. 2 new sets of soft tyres at his disposal.
Verstappen getting out front. He doesn't want to mess it in terms of tyres. Pretty well last time around, didn't it? Enough time to address
for Max Verstappen with 1 pole here. Qatar Grand Prix, which cost him pole in 23. Max receiving that grid penalty loss in the Drivers' Championship. George Russell will definitely Qatar Grand Prix. You'll want to tune in for that.
It's, I think, championship critical track. It gives you a great time into it. Ted, briefly.
It will fly up on the out, fly off on the out. The whole half of the tyre was wrapped in plastic.
As Lando Norris makes his way around.
It was trying to walk a bit towards the outs. He's done a 29.2 first second. So Max is doing the double warm-up then.
And Piastri on your left-hand side, 26.9. That's good.
That's quick. Under a 27.1. That's mighty.
He rounds the final corner. That looked pretty neat as well. On his best time from Lando Norris. Matches Lando Norris. Won't interfere with Oscar Piastri, who's coming into the zone. Russell on a warm-up. Piastri charging to the line between the 2 McLaren drivers.
In all the right parts of the racetrack, carried his final part of qualifying. What's 10th or 2?
George Russell, Oscar Piastri pretty much managed to Carlos Sainz has been noted for being released in another line. He's about 2/10 down on the two. But what about George Russell? How close is Gasly and Sainz have crossed the line ahead of Verstappen, but it's McLaren clear.
Drivers that's giving them some breathing. Fourth or fifth. Let's see as he crosses Hadjar in that final few corners.
On the new tyre and separated by about 6. And I did, looking at it through the onboard cast. So Charles Leclerc was on his tyres that got deposited. A little bit of it comes off here.
Thank you, Bud. What the?
The one tyres, Martin, when they get hot, they get very...
But luckily it was off the racing line.
Oh, you've got a red